Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Critic Box, where we talk about movies, the makings, and all things film. I'm your host this week, Sarah, and I have with me my two very esteemed colleagues, Jarrod and Aundreya. Guys, I'm so happy that we're back.
Hey! I mean, that we're back, we're here, just all in all, a big damn pleasure.
Most definitely. It's been a long minute since I've seen your two faces. I missed you the last time. I've had dreams about you, and now here we are. So,
being in people's dreams is my failure.
I mean,
Here
the
for it.
fiery pangs of your absence were felt right here. You know? Too much.
Devastating. Okay, speaking of devastating, can we talk about the sweep at the Oscars? The Oppenheimer Nolan sweep of the awards?
They had a big broom.
I'm sorry, is anybody surprised? Are you surprised that movie swept everything? I mean, I feel like it was...
Can we just give it a little recap?
Yeah.
Best picture, best actor, best supporting actor, best director, best original score, best cinematography, best film editing, best supporting actress, best adapted screenplay, best costume design, best picture. Like, it was insane.
Yep.
It was insane.
I think best adapted screenplay? Was that them?
I think so.
Hold on, I had this written down.
I love the Oscars, but for sitting there for like 3 hours trying to watch all of it, take it all in. To be honest with you, I was just there for the performances. Like, had me, and I was like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was, I'm sorry, American Fiction was best adapted.
There it is.
Yes, but also was film score and everything, best screen, other things. Yes, I mean, it won every other damn award. I mean, almost to the point where where they kind of were just like, what are some other awards we can throw at other movies? It's just so we can mix it up, so it's not just Oppenheimer winning it all.
We're giving it to Oppenheimer. It's just here, take it.
Yeah, just take all of them.
Which is pretty incredible when you think about the fact that this man has been making movies for 30 years. Like, truly, when we think about our own film careers, he really made it in the first 10. You know, in the first 10, he was making ridiculous stuff. Can you really say that about anybody else? In the first 10 years, they were making, like, huge pictures in the first 10 years of their career?
Well, I think he had the latitude to. I mean, right people behind him, and they just... They believed in him, and they trusted in his vision, and they went with it. And
I mean, we could look at, like, 2000, Memento. I mean, how many times have I, as a pretentious film student, watched Memento and agonized and been like, oh my God, you never seen Memento? I was that guy. But that was 2000, that was Christopher Nolan. And then for the last 24 years, just every few years, Christopher Nolan's gonna be like, hey, you guys want another huge, like, movie you're going to talk about? And then, bam, he would just toss one in, and you're like, damn, that was visually beautiful.
Well, you think about that. You think about the Batman series. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, you know, in The Dark Knight. Like, incredible movies, all back to back to back. Like, easily some of the best Batman films out there.
I mean, Inception. I mean, Interstellar, Tenet, Dunkirk.
Okay, hold on. See, Inception and Tenet is where I have to stop you. I think Tenet is a great filmmaker. Don't get me wrong, and obviously his resume backs it up.
Yeah.
And like Sarah was saying, you know, he's had first 10 years, everybody was just flinging cash at him, like, take this money.
Take these piles of money.
Exactly. But Tenet and Inception, those are movies that I had to watch multiple times to even get the inkless, smallest, tiniest grasp of.
Because it was a lot. It was a lot stacked on a lot.
Yeah,
and it's like I don't know how to make a movie that isn't 4 hours long to hold your hand to grasp a lot of these concepts. I get that. Yeah, sometimes it takes a while for like, oh, you saw Inception, what'd you think? Let my brain process this visual, I would say trauma, but let me process all of this before.
This visual masterpiece. Let's be clear, he's playing with time. You know what I mean?
Guy Ritchie of his genre, to be honest with you, because you know how Guy Ritchie does all those like really specific genre type crime movies,
underground London underground. Yeah.
You all that, right? So Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like, it's like sometimes you're like, hold on, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to rewind 15 seconds because I'm not positive I saw everything that just happened, and I don't know if he's going to explain it in the next 15. So let me just hold on.
That's the point. That's the point. These movies are like rewatchable, and you will find new things every time there are new moments to discover because it's part of your understanding of time. Right? We as a society see time as linear, and these movies aren't linear. They don't see time as linear. They're designed to challenge your social construct, and they keep you engaged the whole time.
Yeah,
and we look at all of those. It's all about the timing.
In a Christopher Nolan movie, he's not doing it to make awards. He's doing it to get butts in theaters for you to have a damn good time. If you appreciated the depth of some of them, fantastic. But you could also shallowly watch a Christopher Nolan film, and you still have a good time.
I was still trying to understand Inception like 3 years after the fact, so I'm just...
Oh, absolutely. That's going to haunt us all.
If that's your definition of a good time, well, then I had it.
Jarrod, if you're telling me you're watching the Dark Knight Rises just for the passion of having a good time, well, it's a fantastic film. That's
no, that's the bonus on top of it. Yeah, no, that's the thing with the Christopher Nolan film, whether you're casually watching it or you're just like, like fingers like gripped into your armrest, like watching it, you're gonna get everything you want to get out of it. Like that's how Christopher Nolan films work. Where it's enjoyable for you and the date who's half into it anyways. You're both gonna have a good time.
So you tell people? Is that how you pitch your date nights?
That's my convincing. Yeah, that's how I convince myself. But yes, no, that's Christopher Nolan. Now there's a lot of pressure on Christopher for whatever his next project's gonna be. But I mean. I have no qualms with Oppenheimer taking everything, and I still haven't even seen the damn movie, and I'm like, no, that makes sense.
How have you not seen this yet?
Because I don't have 3.5 hours where I can just like me and my wife can sit down and be like, so we're in this. Like we just haven't made that time yet.
You do. You have 3.5 hours.
Yeah. All you do on you is lead on your shoulder later and be like, honey, what happened? You know what I mean?
Well, and it also could just be my wife and I. My wife doesn't want to watch Oppenheimer with me because I'm such a history nerd. I'll just be like, do you know who that guy is? Yeah, later becoming the vice president. And she'll be like, shut up. I'm just trying to watch the film. Like, so I'm like, I don't blame her for not wanting to watch it with me. But, but I think everybody gets something out of that movie.
Yeah, I could definitely, but I do agree with you. He does make really good date night movies. Like, it's going to be a long date.
Yep.
Talk about.
Hey, look, if you're like, hey, we keep having arguments, let's just sit down and have a peaceful 3.5 hours, the two of us, you can lock that down, okay? It's a relationship pause button. It's a Christopher Nolan film. And please quote me on that.
We have a rule. We always do dinner and a movie with a Christopher Nolan film. And we try to match dinner to whatever the movie is.
Okay, so what's your favorite dinner?
Oh my God, mac and cheese.
Wait, what's your Dark Knight Rises dinner? Like, what is that?
Oh, you do like steak. You do like a beautiful steak and mashed potatoes. You like a beautiful dinner for that.
And the best thing about some Christopher Nolan films, by the time you finish the film, you're hungry again because you've already digested everything. It's been 3.5 hours. Like, you're ready for a snack after.
No.
Absolutely.
This is a man's dinner, okay? So if we're doing Batman,
I mean,
a man's dinner.
I mean,
exactly.
I'm the demographic, so I get it.
Give me your wife's cell phone number. Let me call her and just give her some hints. Like, just tell her what she needs to be doing next time you guys watch a Christopher Nolan movie, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Here's what you need to do.
Honey, we're going to Black and Blip.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, okay. It's on by next time, which probably won't happen. By next time, next podcast, I will have watched Oppenheimer. It's not gonna happen, but that's my commitment. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stick to it. It won't, but we're gonna see how it goes.
No, maybe we'll start a pot. Every single time you don't have a week, you owe each of us $5. Maybe that's how we'll do this.
I don't have money. I'm in the film industry.
Oh, the cruel and unusual and so very true joke.
Right? Oh, right here. But also now that we're in the I would say the post Oscars void, the post ripple, because as soon as everyone's done with the Oscars, they're like, oh man, okay, well, let's look at this year. What is this year gonna look like? What's gonna come out for this one?
All right,
what do we have to look forward to?
Things out.
Because
have a few things.
Because 2023 was not even half a year. Like the walkouts happened in June. Or May, June-ish. Yeah.
They happened at the beginning, end of April?
So, like, nothing was filmed last year. So this year, I mean, I'm just looking at some of the films we got coming out, and I'm like, these don't seem like I should go to the theaters to watch them, and also 90% of them are on streaming services. So
Hey, listen, here we go. We start the year
yes,
with Mean Girls, which I have not seen yet, and it kind of breaks my heart that I haven't made time to go see it.
how dare
because I'm
you?
dying to see it because Renee Rapp is fucking fabulous.
She is, yeah. Well, without
That
zero
woman
question.
has so much goddamn confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Like an incredible triple threat brilliant on Broadway.
Mhm.
Like amazing. So I'm dying to see it. I have not made time. I will not be making time to go see Madam Web. I just won't.
No. We're stopping right there. I've made time to see Madam Web. Okay.
How was it?
Okay.
Is it 2 hours you won't get back?
Listen,
Is it $20 you're not going to get back?
you shut your brain off.
Uh-huh.
You eat your popcorn.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you enjoy the pretty women on the screen. Okay.
There's
That's what we're there for. All right.
You know what? That movie is not a lack of talent.
Marvel had
Not a
anything
lack of talent.
Okay, we just know it was a comic book character that they turned into a live action movie, and Dakota Johnson is amazing, and we're going to watch it simply because of that. And if Dakota Johnson doesn't get you, it's Sydney. Okay, we're just Sydney Swoon. Okay,
Mhm.
that's Madam Web. All right, we're going to leave it alone, leave it there. It is where it is supposed to be.
Is it though? Couldn't it have been a streaming movie? I feel like it could have gone direct to streaming and we would have been fine with it.
I mean, it's like, yes, I want to encourage female leads movie like where movies where it's like, hey, it's 3 to 5 women are the leads and men are in the back. I want to encourage these movies too. I just feel like that. I mean, Madam Web may not be the leader for that.
Okay, listen. In my opinion, it was better than this the Black Widow with Scarlett Johansson. So
Yeah, that was.
I
Yeah,
really feel like just because of all of the craziness surrounding the press around it and what Dakota's maybe uncomfortability with the role and how the script was changed and whatever went on in the back end. I think because of that, it got a really bad rap, worse than it would have gotten if people just watched that with all of that misconceptions in their head first. But to me, it was better than a lot of the other, I don't want to say female-led, but period, superhero movies, period, out there.
Oh, that's its own discussion of, yeah.
But I think we need to like chill on some superhero movies for a minute. What I am excited to see that's a female-led movie is Back to Black.
Back to
the
Black.
Amy Winehouse story. The biopic for Amy Winehouse.
Yes.
That comes out this year in May, and I think that that's going to be fantastic.
Who is?
I think Zendaya is going to be amazing in Challengers.
Oh, definitely looking forward to that one because that one was actually shot before the strikes, and it was supposed to come out last year, and it was delayed
because you can't market it.
And
Release. You can't market it.
And
I'm celebrating that one as if it were my own birthday. I mean,
and I'm gonna salute because
it's at all.
I'm a tennis fan, and I feel like there is an underrepresentation of tennis films out there. And I mean, we had Wimbledon with Kirsten Dunst, and I forgot my man. What was his name? What is the movie?
Don't say John McEnroe.
Oh God, no, it's not John McEnroe. No, Paul Bettany. Paul Bettany and Kirsten Dunst. Like that was the only I mean, we don't get that many tennis movies, and I'm excited about Challenger just for the fact that I love tennis, and I'm like, okay, cool, she's a tennis instructor in a love corner, and so that'll be fun.
I just like seeing Zendaya as a badass. I mean, you're
absolutely
100%.
She's badass in everything she does.
Yeah, no, she's a badass on the carpets, definitely. I mean,
zero question about that.
Style unmatched, but I just like seeing her in that role of like tough, like woman, like.
Speaking of, I mean, what about Damsel? Have y'all seen the trailer for Damsel with Millie Bobby Brown?
No.
Is that streaming?
That one, yeah, that one's gonna be streaming. It's gonna be on Netflix.
Yeah, we crossed the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Streaming.
No, that was a little bit more of like a fantasy driven, but it's very coming out. It says March 8th. Okay, so I guess it's out now. So it's probably on U.S. Netflix.
How do we feel about? Are we gonna go see Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, Godzilla, either one?
I
Do we
mean,
think we're kind of like past this? Do we think that like, well, it's great that we're making a bunch of CGI money movies? Do we think that we're kind of over this?
No. Godzilla.
No.
It's Godzilla. As soon as you say Godzilla, my eyebrow instinctively goes up just because I'm just like, I've loved that man for years and decades. I mean, I have been represented as I drop everything from my bookshelf. I mean, within reach, I have a Godzilla. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Okay, I'm excited for Godzilla and the whole King Kong thing. Not because I like previous movies, but because it's like it feels like something that as a millennial I should watch. just to be like true to my generation, I should watch this. Am I going to enjoy it? I doubt. I have reservations.
I mean,
I'm going to see it.
Well, see, there's also the tradition of Godzilla of whenever it is a Japanese-based Godzilla film, it's going to be beautiful. It won awards. It won special effects on a 10 mil budget. But then anytime a American company makes a Godzilla film, it's of questionable results. It is very arguably heavily debated. And that will go back to 2000's Godzilla and then to present day, where some are going to enjoy it, some are not going to enjoy it. And that's kind of how Godzilla works whenever it's an American-based Godzilla.
Well, this is Godzilla and King Kong. You know what I mean? This is the new empire we're talking about. So it's a whole thing that we're throwing together. It's a crossover episode.
It's not the first time they've met. This is just a newer iteration of it, and I'll watch it. I'm absolutely gonna watch it. I will encourage the Godzilla at any time.
You know what I can't wait to go see? Is John Krasinski's new film, If, that he wrote. It's like a comedy. What if all your imaginary friends weren't imaginary? And it's about this young girl who starts seeing all of her imaginary friends. I can't wait to see that. I fucking love John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, Ryan Reynolds, Kelly Fleming, Emily Blunt, Vince Vaughn, Awkwafina. Yeah, that's
incredible.
Done. Down my vote.
Wife is in it. I just love that. It's just like they're not going to do a movie without each other. The Silent Place.
Quiet Place? Yeah.
Quiet Place, yes. Silent Place, Quiet Place.
I mean, real awkward if one of them doesn't invite the other to be on set.
Quiet Place, yes.
Yeah.
No, whatever they do together, I mean, they just have such incredible chemistry. Obviously, that's probably the reason why they're married. But I feel like looking at this, it's going to be something I'm going to have to see. The creativity is just jumping off the screen. You know what I mean?
Well, it's incredible.
I like it whenever it's like we're at the point of like, let's have some avant-garde, off the wall, bring in some weird ass ideas for fun movies and also comedies. Yes, I feel like now's a great time in the world to have more comedies, more off the wall comedies.
Okay, well,
Speaking of off the wall comedies, Borderlands with Jack Black.
Look, I didn't even know what the hell Borderlands was until like 2011, 2012, where like my friends needed me to help them film a sweepstakes video so that they could win a prize pack of Borderlands. And that's when I realized it existed. And so I've never played the game, so I couldn't say one way or the other. Just me watching the trailer. Hell yes. That looked like so much fun. And
it's an all-star cast. You know what I mean? It's Kate Blanchett,
cast.
It's Kevin Hart, it's Bobby Lee, Jamie Lee Curtis. You know what I mean? Jack Black.
It's gonna be good.
I mean, Kate Blanchett, and she's killing people and having fun in the desert. Yes.
I'll watch that all day.
I mean, I'll watch. Is it action? Because if it's action,
it's action.
Okay,
yeah, it's like steampunk action. It's so fun.
Jamie Lee Curtis in an action comedy.
Okay, fine. I'm there for it. The action movie that I'm really there for, that's coming out spring, I think, this year, Monkey Paw with Dev Patel. I have never seen an Indian action hero outside of a Bollywood flick. And I watched the trailer and like my heart just jumped out of my body. And it was just like, here, Dev, have me. Take me, Dev. Your movie looks fantastic.
Hold on. Monkey Paw.
He has a soulful quality about him. And ever since I've seen him in The Green Knight, I've just been like, why aren't you booking more? So, Monkey Man.
Oh, Monkey Man. Okay, that's
it's actually done with the producing partner was Monkey Paw with Jordan Peele. So if you look at it, it's just like, okay,
this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have an action hero, and then we have an action hero who is a person of color. On top of that, telling a story that's true to his country and true to his land. And it's just like, yes. And it's a little bit funny, but a lot dramatic. And, you know, there's the ass kicking in between. So, I mean, if that's one movie I want to see definitely this year. And Ballerina.
Oh, listen, if we're talking about funny ass kicking, Deadpool 3 is out this summer as well.
That's going to be the summer movie to watch. I'm calling it right now. That's going to be
Reynolds. Like, here we go.
Get it?
I will watch the huge jacked man all day.
Yeah,
all day.
I mean, I watched Deadpool 2 twice in theaters. Like, that's how much I had fun watching. Like, it's a movie that obviously doesn't take itself seriously, because even in the comics, it doesn't take itself seriously. Like, it's meant to be tongue in cheek, like break the fourth wall, like bring it, like spoof, parody other things. That's what Deadpool does, and done by Ryan Reynolds. That's his. I mean, that's it.
Fucking hilarious. He's fucking hilarious.
Always that people didn't think that it was going to work when they initially saw the script.
Yeah,
he shot that script like all hell, trying to get somebody to buy it. And now look, it's probably one of the biggest franchises out there, just because Ryan Reynolds is just so great at what he does, and he's the only actor that's worked for both DC and Marvel. So, got to give him credit.
Really, I didn't know that.
Which is funny because, Deadpool is one of the only, even in the comic series, is the only one that recognizes that he's a comic. Like, he's a character in a comic book. And so that's literally why he was created, was to make fun of other comics, like in comic book superheroes. That's why. That's why he's considered outside of the superhero movie, just because he's such a parody of other superheroes, yet he's an actual legitimate superhero.
That's an anti-hero. Let's be very clear. He's an anti-hero.
That's an anti-hero, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess my favorite movie that I'm looking forward to, that I've seen all of and repeatedly multiple times, is Bad Boys 4.
Ooh!
Is that coming out this year?
That is coming out this year.
That's the summer blockbuster. Like, I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
I don't care what the storyline is, what the plot is, where they are, who they're fighting.
Look, I don't care how you feel about Will. I don't care how you feel about Martin Lawrence. We're just going to go in and watch some Bad Boys and just shut up and have a good time. That's what we're going to do.
That's the movie that I'm watching. I don't give a heck. It's not the original Michael Bay version, but since Michael Bay set the standard on that franchise, they've just been getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the fact is that the first movie came out in 1995. Okay,
so
we
long
are
ago.
now in 2024, and they're still doing sequels to this story.
And be honest, Will and Martin they don't look that different than they did 30 years ago. I don't know what they're doing. They got their lotion game is on point, but they can still do it.
And the black does crack, but the melanin. Well,
it helps. Yeah, no, it helps. No, I crack severely. So I mean, there's some other movies but again, this year, are we just going to be looking like, oh, hey, these are going to be some fun movies, or what are movies that are coming out that you're like, yo, that could be some Oscar contenders? Are there any contenders coming out right now?
I think this new Joker movie with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix would be a contender. We have Spooky Girl Fall, we have the Beetlejuice 2 movie, and we have Joker. I'm very excited.
Yes.
Moody Girl Sarah is very excited about this.
Beetlejuice for an Oscar contender?
That's
No, I don't know that it'll be Oscar worthy, but I think the Joker will. I think that you have two very, very talented people in that room, that I can absolutely see that leading to an Oscar.
I mean, two big contenders, like two Oscar-winning actors in that film. Yeah, and also, I mean, I'm gonna say, I mean, I've only seen the trailer. I haven't watched it yet. Drive Away Dolls. Drive Away Dolls. It's a movie that, like, honestly, because my smart TV keeps popping it up, so I've seen the trailer a couple times. It's it looks like it's a fun movie, female-led cast, strong cast of comedy, but it's what's going to be an Oscar contender this year is going to have to be somebody. We're not going to have a Christopher Nolan equivalent this year. It's going to be some avant-garde, like, different style of films. Kind of like Poor Things was different, but it won. So I feel like that's what we're going to find this year is a lot of movies that may have got shelved early on in 2023. Now they're getting their release in 2024.
Interesting. Have you seen Argyle? Argyle's out now. But it's with Dua Lipa. It's with Henry Cavill, John Cena, Samuel L.
Strong
Jackson.
cast.
It's a really strong cast.
Yeah. And it also
Um,
looks like it's smart as well. Like it's
Yeah.
not just an action film, it's a comedy, irreverent, like someone's writing and things are coming true from it. I feel like that one's going to be a good one.
I can't make any predictions what they're gonna like. I mean, it really depends on the campaign the studios are gonna launch for these movies behind the scenes.
Mhm.
I honestly think just with the big names that the Oscar next year for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, whatever, is probably going to go to something that's coming out of the film festival circuit.
Yeah, it's going to be
Another thing that we don't know about just yet. I mean,
smaller budget, almost indie level. It's going to be something different. Like it's going to be a different Oscars, obviously, in different movies, but it's going to be a different Oscars, as in it's not going to be one movie sweeping.
yeah, it's going to be poor things with less money.
Yes.
Basically, that's what we're
Mhm.
looking at next year. I mean, I think like the Oscars have this rhythm and pattern to it, where like one year it's something really really big that was out every year, everywhere, and then the next year it's something that just like took the world by surprise, and everyone had to see it, type of things. Like so they stay on trend. Like it's just
Interesting.
real political behind it. And that is just the instinct I'm getting. I may be wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay with being wrong, but I just
I'm
think
comfortable.
Oppenheimer being such a big release and being the movie of 2023 2024 slash
Mhm.
that this year something is going to come out that's on a smaller scale that's going to take the academies by surprise. But speaking of John Krasinski,
Mhm.
Quiet Place 3 comes out this year.
Mm, sign me up, please. If I could take it intravenously, I would. Yes, more quiet things.
Honestly, I just don't understand how they
Quiet
could
Place.
do a movie. The Quiet Place, yes.
I keep saying it wrong too.
No. Well, listen, it's one of those movies that you may not know the name to exactly or who exactly is in it, but you know exactly what happens. Like it's horror, it's thriller, it's on the level of Bird Box, but it's Bird Box on the big screen. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
And
it's-
Absolutely.
It's the only movie that I can watch that's basically quiet for most of it, and I don't fall asleep. And this is screaming.
Mhm.
This is me laid up in bed, curled up in bed with my blanket on, and then just watching this. And I'm just like, well, there's no dialogue or barely little dialogue, and I'm not falling asleep. And that's because Emily Blunt's so captivating, and the writing is that damn good.
Mhm.
Okay, so
And it's Quiet Place Day One. Do you know how much I love a day one of like, I was like, yeah, how many movies? It was like, was it 28 days later and everything? And then they're like, what about day one? I'm like, oh, that's a chilling. Like all the Terminator movies. What about Terminator Day One? Like that's like, ooh, where like they always talk about, oh, this happened anyways a year later, or this happened months later. We're in the post. I'm like, no, they never talk about like what happened. The chaos of day one. Like, oh, and that's what this one's going to be about.
are you guys into kids movies at all?
Yes.
Depends.
Yes, I will go see the kids' movies all day long. Absolutely.
Okay. I still haven't seen Shrek. Don't judge. But
Or the Shrekenings.
the Shrekenings. But have you seen Inside Out?
Yes. We have a new Inside Out this year. I can't wait for
Yes.
that.
Yes. It's gonna make me cry. Because the
Oh
first
yeah,
Out made me
it's
cry.
one of the many emotions that are going to be represented on screen are going to be represented in here and in here. Yeah.
I highly recommend people see that. Just to keep their children out of therapy. Or-
Absolutely.
Mm.
Therapy's expensive. Go see a movie instead.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's a little bit
let's learn how to
cheaper.
process our emotions, shall we?
Yeah, the per
Right,
hour is cheaper.
catharsis. Good for us.
Mhm.
Speaking of Spooky Girls Fall, we also have one of the Saw movies is out again this year.
We have a new song.
We
Is
have a
that
new Saw.
Saw 17?
Song, like I was about to start singing and breaking out in song. So
I mean, you can. I mean, if there was Saw the musical, I'd watch the shit out of that.
And I'm here to
Great. That's
Do you want to play a game? I'm like, yes.
horror meets fantasy.
obviously that's what I'm here for.
Yes.
What someone was on coke when they did that. Yeah.
Oh, guaranteed. Without question.
No, but
No.
Saw. I'm a staunch supporter of the franchise. So Sarah, I'm with you on that one.
I'm a supporter of horror movies. I love me some horror movies, but But when it comes to horror movies, it's either 1 star or 5 star. Anything in between is like too much of a hit or miss, and I get disappointed. Like, it has to be complete crap, and I'm going to have fun watching it, or it's going to be really, really good, and I'm going to enjoy watching it. Like, that's usually how horror works for me.
Right? One or the other.
Well, and the thing is, as a staunch supporter of the franchise, and I consider those writers my close personal friends, even though I've never met them. I'm just going to be the one to say that, while the first 3 were very freaking compelling and definitely worthy of the accolades, there is a chunk there in the middle, a series of films there in the middle where I was just like, why?
It's stretched.
Why did we do that? Did we have to?
Milking the franchise.
Was it necessary?
Because monies. Yes, monies. Speaking of monies, I love that we saw a really great award go out in the Oscars. Can we talk about the Cord Jefferson speech for a hot minute?
I'm going to objectify the fuck out of him because the man just looks good. Okay, he looked very
objectively
good.
Very attractive, without question.
Standing there and saying what he said, which was very factual, very true, very relevant, very smart, and he just poised and posed, and it's just like,
and it looked good doing it.
Where did you come from?
Let's
decide your brain.
Wait, let's recap. What was the situation here?
Yeah, I mean, like, this was for his first ever feature film. I think the producers, can we pull up the speech?
Yes.
Look, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This means the world to me. Thank you so much to the Academy. Thank you so much to everybody who worked on the film. I've been talking a lot about how many people passed on this movie and discussing it, and I worry that sometimes sounds vindictive, and I don't want to be vindictive. I'm not a vindictive person anymore. I've worked very hard to not be vindictive anymore, and it's more a plea. It's a plea to acknowledge and recognize that there are so many people out there who want the opportunity that I was given, and this is I understand that this. I only got 6 seconds, please. I understand that this is a risk-averse industry. I get it. But $200 million movies are also a risk, and it doesn't always work out, but you take the risk anyway. And instead of making one $200 million movie, try making 20 $10 million movies or 50, right? 50, $4 million movies. Like, you can, there are so many people. I just feel so much joy being here. I mean, I felt so much joy making this movie, and I want other people to experience that joy. And they are out there. I promise you. The next Martin Scorsese's out there. The next Greta's out there. Both Greta's. The next Christopher Nolan's out there. I promise you. They just want a shot, and we can give them one. And this has changed my life. Thank you all who worked on this movie for trusting a 40-year-old black guy who's never directed anything before. It has changed my life. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Are we sweaty?
100%. That's a gorgeous man. That's a gorgeous man with a powerful speech.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, done. Absolutely.
That's the thing, though. I think it's so important that we start making smaller budget movies. Like, we see all of these major budget movies, and yes, does something like a story like Oppenheimer need a big budget? Absolutely. But I think we can do so much in that $5 million movie range. I think we see these turnaround in MOWs, like specifically here in Canada where we're at, all the time. We do the 12-day movie better than anybody in the world. Very truly, like, that's how fast we're turning stuff around. Be great to see those get a little bit of a bigger budget.
Yeah. No, hold on. I think it's important to note that Oppenheimer won, maybe because it was a big budget film, maybe because the studio was throwing everything it had behind it to make sure that it did win in the categories that it won in.
Good campaigning went behind that one, yeah.
And it's not to say that the story is any less important or it was any less well told than the story in American fiction and the reason why it won in Best Adapted Screenplay. But I think Cord's point was that we don't always need a big story. We don't always need a major production in order to compel people to watch our products. And that's basically what movies are. They're products that they're made by different people and distributed and all over the world. And it's just like, just take a risk on something that you may not particularly think you would watch. And because you wouldn't watch it, think that other people wouldn't watch it. But other people, in fact, would be interested in watching those types of stories.
It's the fear or it's really the easy gamble of, oh, I would like to put in minimal amount of budget, maximum amount of ticket price. But however, if you start pumping more and more millions into something, that doesn't guarantee you're going to get more and more millions out of it. And I don't know how we've lost that connection of, you got to find a good script and put some money behind it. Like, okay, how much money do they need? And then, then you do like the dial back or forward and like, oh, I need a little bit more. We're going to put a little bit less. And then you have to figure out what works for your movie. But there's good stories out there. There's good writers. There's good directors. There's good actors. As an actor myself, I would like to have more projects rather than like the 4 or 5 that come into our area and I got to hop on one of them. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing background. It's like if we had more options for people to spread their wings and tell good damn stories. Like, again, I will keep going back to this. Godzilla -1, $10 million measly dollars. Won Best Special Effects. Special Effects. They won the Oscar for that. For $10 million. Madam Web's budget was $80 million, and they dumped that on us. They were like, I'm sorry, here you go. They dumped it out the back door of Disney. And, and I'm like, $80 million, you could have split that up. 4 other movies could have gotten $20 million, and they could have done so much more. But it's like...
so much more.
It's a disconnect of like, more money goes to things that are worth it and less money goes to things that are worth it, And
yeah. Okay, and that like spawns a great... Like, I deal with a lot of the budgets.
Okay, no, I'm clapping my hands. I'm clapping my hands, okay? It's not about things being worth it or not being worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's about people thinking, well, certain people are going to watch this kind of movie, and certain people are going to watch that kind of movie. And if we don't tell a movie about this, or we don't tell a story about this certain type of person, nobody's going to be interested in it. And that's outdated, backwards thinking that is not serving the movie industry, because most of the cases, those algorithms are wrong.
Almost always they're wrong because it correlates to people. People don't work with algorithms. Algorithms are trying to chase the understanding of what people want. When people know people, that's what matters. People know people.
We know.
I think we have 2 different issues here.
I think we do.
What the algorithm, what the network stats say, and then what the stories are and the root of human stories.
Yes.
And I think that there's like this really interesting in-between land that like we specifically have here in Canada of like, we're the responsibility of populating the streaming services. Like we're a very service-related country in that sense. Like Vancouver's a very service-related town specifically for that.
Oh yeah.
In regards to like the business of Christmas and the business of rom-com. But like we see that here too. We get some of the bigger shows, like we get Reacher and we get like some stuff that's gonna Mayor of Kingstown, and like we get some Guillermo del Toro stuff, and we got Shape of Water. We get some stuff.
We got Guillermo's back. Okay, anything Guillermo needs, we will provide. Okay, love me, Guillermo.
What we do here is we do Christmas. We do these, like
on Queen Street the other day. So
he's just the best guy. He's the nicest freaking guy, and you can see him locally if you're lucky. I love him so much. I want to give him money for a budget. Like here's I got 20 on me. Here's $20. There you go. Please, go put it towards something next.
No. It's Jacob. Okay, it's not just 20. Okay.
It's not just him?
Yeah, it's not just 20. We're flashing out 50s for Jacob. Okay.
I don't have 50s on me. So that's why I just give the most I have on me at any given time would be a $20.
I know we're actors. I know we're actors. However, we gonna find that hit.
What does a 50 look like? Just tell me. Well, I get the 50. What color is that? I don't know.
It's red. It's the red one.
Oh, it's the red one? Okay.
The red one. The 100's the brown one.
We have to remind him. That's how hard it is out here.
It's hard out here. But that's just it, right? Like if we started diversifying these budgets a little bit more, like if we started to see more production of real is probably the wrong word, but of stories that reflect more people, stories that connect more with us as who we are as people, rather than like, I went back to my hometown to save my family farm and I fell in love with the man in plaid in 4 days. Like, we don't need to see that story again. We've seen it every single Christmas.
There's a couple channels dedicated to those movies, and that's fine too. And we also need those as well.
Catch my heart.
Right.
He's a fine-looking man.
Look, as the goofy best friend in those movies, I 100% support those movies. However, like yes, and nowadays in this, I guess this temperature of society that we live in, your movie needs to be either a distraction or a mouthpiece for an issue. And those are the two leading things right now. And right now, from the looks of a lot of trailers, Distraction is going to be game for this year. A lot of weird avant-garde different ideas are coming out this year, and I'm excited for that. But like, what movies are out there? Like, are we going to have a dearth of big movies this year coming out this year? There's a lot. How many trailers have I seen? Like 2025. We're going to see, hey, you like this big old thing? 2025. This year's going to be a weird year just because last year wasn't a year. So
as we talk about this, I really feel like there's going to be a foreign film that's going to come out that's just going to
100%. Like, they were outside of the lockout last year, and they were just they're both going to rise.
Yeah.
Smile Part 2 comes out this year.
Smile.
Which is kind of crazy.
Tell me about
Smile
it.
producers made so much money.
Smile 2, the Smile
movie. It was so cheap. So it's interesting to see them call it second one.
Tell me about. I've come here to have my mind expanded. I watch a lot of flicks, okay, but I do not watch them all, and I need you to, as my people, to tell me what I'm out there missing.
I need to fill in some blanks for you.
My people.
So what I need to do is watch some weird shit and then recommend it to you, and then you'll be like, "Hey guys,
basically, I
dug through a lot of dirt to find this diamond. You're gonna want to watch this one."
There's the drag. There is the dross. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got my mission. I got my duty in this world. I'll do what I can.
Thank you. You have 3 months.
Yeah, I got time.
Get to work.
Right?
Okay, so Smile, let's give a little backstory. So Smile was a short film, then became a feature film, and it made over $270 million in the box office. It from like a budget that was like $10K, like turned around to like crazy money.
It's 2022, so 2 years ago.
It was tiny. The budget was like next to nothing, and the producers wanted to like flip something around like that again. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing Smile 2. Yeah, it was long. It was fucking long.
Oh, it's a horror movie. Okay.
Yeah, it's a horror flick. I can't wait till we roll around to October so we can do like some spooky movies.
Let me tell you,
Focus movies.
That's my wheelhouse. You're talking about horror, like that's my wheelhouse. Like that's my wife and I's bread and butter. Like we love a good horror film. Like that's a film we'll watch
I'll do like
immediately.
creepy stuff. I'll do like Tim Burton creepy. That's where I live.
So we'll be seeing you at the theater for Saw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like dressed up in costume. Like you can see me on a tricycle and a mask. Like, hey guys, come on, let's go in and see this movie. It's going great.
We're gonna pretend like we don't know you, and that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Don't encourage me.
I know him. I'm taking pictures. I'm getting an autograph for in 15, 20 years. When this man is actually a star, I could be like, listen, I'm selling this.
Yeah. When I don't need you guys anymore.
How do we feel about Wicked? Have either one of you seen the Broadway show Wicked? Just to like start this.
No, I haven't.
And I'm a theater actor, and I still haven't seen a lot of it. See, that's the thing.
It's been over 25 years. You have no excuse. It's been running for 25 goddamn years.
My excuse. Okay, you know what? Actually, let me reach over and show that I actually even have the book on my bookshelf right here, and I still haven't read the damn thing.
See, I saw that face so often that it just got on my nerves, and I was just like, no.
Yeah.
I saw Kinky Boots instead. I wasn't watching that.
Did you see Kinky Boots with Todrick Hall?
I saw Kinky Boots downtown, so I don't know who was there, but it was a Broadway actor from New York, and he was absolutely fantastic in the title role. So yes, no, I couldn't see Wicked. I just saw way too much advertisements. I was like, Ed Mervish, please go away. And then when they tore on it down, I was just like, hallelujah! I'm tired of you. Yes, but I mean, I will catch it on YouTube.
But
I will send you all of the original like Kristen Chenoweth links of when she was first on Broadway with this musical because it's incredible.
Mia Kunis, wasn't she in a Wicked version of that movie? Is that?
No, it's Ariana Grande. That's who you're thinking of. So this is coming out. Wicked Part 1 is coming out this year.
The Wickeding.
Yeah, The Wickeding.
Okay.
So we had like the beautiful matching costume to the Oscars. What I'm so intrigued by is now we're seeing this shift, right? We're seeing shifts in media.
Oh yeah.
So we have this show that's like a very theatrical stage play that's now moving to the big screen, but we're also seeing this kind of reconnaissance happening or a renaissance happening with cinema to video on demand and DVD release, and that like turning into streaming release. My partner's an old school, like has to have it on Blu-ray. My stepdad is also the person like he has to have it on Blu-ray, and now they have like ultra Blu-ray. What about you guys? Are you guys into like physical media anymore? Is that something you need?
Funny enough that you say this. There's a movie, there's a TV show that I like that I wanted to get the rest of the seasons for, or all of the seasons for you, because you know how we used to buy those box sets.
Yeah.
Buy the box sets of the TV shows that you really like. So I went searching for it, and I'm like, holy what am I looking for a box set for? I don't have a DVD player. I haven't had a DVD player in years. It is like having a cassette tape. I barely have a radio. If it wasn't for Google, it just wouldn't happen. Why are we still selling things on DVD?
Okay, so I'm going to pop in on this one too, because my wife used to work for Warner Brothers in the marketing department, in the DVD marketing department. Okay. So she got it's a metal briefcase. I call it a drug lord's briefcase, full with 500 DVDs and Blu-rays. And it was one of those, she's like, I'm not going to throw away all of them. What am I going to do with this? And then one day, or like for like weird one day, like the internet went out. We had nothing.
Yeah.
But we were like, but we had a Blu-ray player, we had a TV, and we had a briefcase with 500 options. And you know what? And then, about a year or so later, a lot of the streaming platforms started to get like, let me start pulling things. Like, oh, this thing that we had forever doesn't exist anymore. Oh, this other thing, sure, rent it for $20 if you want. And then suddenly physical media became the thing again. And again, like 3 years ago, because I'm from my parents back in Texas were like, hey, Jarrod, we have your shelves of DVDs and Blu-rays. What do you want us to do with it? And I was like, pish and pshaw, I can get it all online. Get rid of it. And then now I'm like, why? Because we can't rely on streaming platforms anymore. Physical media is our go-around. Like the only way we can like hold and maintain things outside of the internet is these physical media. And now I'm like, that I would say that's the renaissance now, is of DVDs and Blu-rays, of let's grab things so that we're not dictated what we can watch and be entertained by the streaming services.
That's right. You want to do something hilarious? As a kid, we would go camping, and I would bring my DVDs camping, and then we would
Did you have like the little portable player?
I had a laptop that had the old CD plug-in.
Okay, that also works too. Yeah.
So like you would pop it in there, and that was great because then it would rain while you're camping, and you go inside and like sit on the air mattress and watch a movie.
You're watching a little movie. It's great.
Sorry, guys. I mean, I burnt all of my DVDs, everything, all of the movies that I liked, onto like USB drives years ago. I was ahead of the time.
Didn't you know that copying a movie it hurts people?
And just through the looking glass. Okay.
It around, okay?
Yeah.
Moving very often. I'm like, it was heavy, it was bulky.
I get that. That's why I got rid of my DVDs. I get smart.
I missed the movie posters. Like,
yeah.
I missed all that. There's some DVDs that I did keep, and I need to get a DVD player, I admit. But basically what you're talking about is having the DVDs is just being prepared for the end of all times and the apocalypse coming up. And at that point, we couldn't rely on electronic devices. We would need solar power. So who's got their solar panels ready?
Look, if I need to get on
I absolutely have a book on how to make solar panels. I am that person.
Yo, if I need to get a stationary bike on a generator,
have internet.
Like, hey, I need 2 hours on this thing for like a movie night. I'll do it. Okay, that's what I'm doing the post-apocalypse. And I'll stay healthy, and we're gonna watch a movie tonight. All right, that's my commitment to this. I'll charge a battery up with potatoes and jars. I'll figure it out. Okay, but in the post-apocalyptic, we're gonna need those DVDs and Blu-rays.
Okay, but fine. My question is, hold on. What did I just hear about you going camping with your DVD player? Like, how isn't the point of
movie nerd?
No. Yeah. Hold on. As a Black woman who's never been camping, isn't the point of camping to be one with nature?
No. God, no.
Point of camping not when you're a kid.
Kid
or teenager, no.
They take you to the campsite, and the parents fuck off and go for their afternoon walks with their margaritas, and you're left there in the great outdoors to figure out what the fuck you're supposed to do with yourself. Well, guess what? It rains in the great outdoors, and there's bugs in the great outdoors, and like sometimes you want to go have a nap. So like you bring the movies, and you bring like a whole binder of DVDs, and then you set up the laptop on like a little stool or a little log or something in the middle of the room, and you sit on your air mattress and you watch movies.
Look, that's innovation. You learn innovation of how can I maintain my lifestyle in this nature? How can I adapt nature to my lifestyle of
nature
me watching
versus
these
nurture.
movies, right? Yeah.
One.
It gets you thinking different.
Okay, that was written down. That was recorded. That's up here. If anyone ever invites me camping, I'm for sure bringing my laptop. Don't look at me crazy. I was told to. This is how it's done.
It's a balance.
absolutely.
Okay, it's a balance between worlds. That's what camping is. That's what camping can
my
be.
mother was so extra. We also packed the surround sound speakers. We plugged in speakers to the laptop.
Damn. Yeah.
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 That'd be true. That's
That is
lit.
good stuff.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
One. Yeah.
But going back to the original thing of, is it less cinema, more video on demand, which means I got to start getting like 5-6 subscriptions so I can see everything. Is that part of the plan, or is that like individual studios and everything? Is that what we all need to have like 7 subscriptions at all time to watch everything, like, or one theater? Like, I mean, what how is it looking right now?
I think that's kind of where we are again. We're back in like subscription land. I heard on the radio the other day, and like, yes, sometimes I'm old and I listen to the radio. I know it's weird.
I
get this
right
like
there with
nostalgic
you.
thing. I want to hear other people
Yes,
talking
the
in my
radio.
car.
I'm of that age of either are viable, either podcast or I'm listening to the radio.
Yeah, that is the
Absolutely.
radio. There's a radio?
There's
The
this
radio.
magical waves we can't see right now, but if you had the right piece of metal with the right piece of like wiring, you can listen to anything that you can pick up on that one antenna. Yes,
Oh.
fascinating science.
Science. We love it.
It's still viable. It
woman.
existed for like 100 years, and then we stopped using it in the last 10, and we've forgotten it, but it's still there.
Tell me some new shit out here. What is
and there's 2 kinds. There's an FM and an AM. Yeah. Strap in, all right? An AM is different from day and night, okay? So one of them has 2
What are you
subsections, all right? It gets
saying?
crazy. It gets crazy.
Oh shit. Oh my god. I'm scared. I'm scared.
It's okay. It's okay. The waves are all around you, but they can't hurt you.
Do you guys have time to talk about Scream?
That is the. You
Oh,
know
we
what? I want.
all
I
that.
want somebody in a nice white button-up shirt and a nice tie, coming to my door, saying, "Do you have a moment to talk about Scream?" Yes, I do. Come
It's all
inside.
Great.
Would you
I
like
just-
tea?
The 2000s? Okay.
Yes.
Three more?
Yes.
Yes, I do. I do.
Done.
I do.
I always have time. What would you like to talk about?
All right. Let's talk about the firing of some staff members. Let's get into some tea here.
Who's out?
Okay,
Who's
we had-
in? What
we did-
happened?
Exit of our lead. We had an exit of our director. You know what I mean? Do we think we need more Scream? I feel like we always need more Scream. Like, I'm always gonna go see that.
Getting fired a big deal though? Like, does not happen.
Yeah, was it the director from the original Scream, or is it just a director who got
A
thrown the
director.
script?
It's
A
a
director.
director.
Well, I'm no
was-
offense to that person.
That
I'm
was the
not.
studio flexing a bit of muscle. Okay, this is our franchise.
That
okay?
happens.
You don't
Yeah.
tell us, we telling you.
Yeah.
Listen,
But
I think
who's
it's a
in?
big deal.
Who's
I've
in
never
the
been on
new
a show
Scream?
where we fire a director. You know what I
Scream-
mean? Like, that feels like a big deal.
Also, it doesn't. You know what? Producers will sack a director like the drop of a hat sometimes. So that may not be a good reflection on the production or the acting or the writing. That could just be like, yeah, this director is just being extra, and then he's out.
In Scream, in my opinion, the original Scream was good. Scream 2 was good. Scream 3 was good. And this is a person who does not get scared by horror films. I watch
Yeah.
horror films for the fun of it. I watch horror films expecting to laugh. If I jump, twitch, if I get a little slightest bit hair jumping up, that's a good freaking horror film, okay?
Oh yeah.
A lot of the Screams haven't done that for me. But the fact that I was a big Neve Campbell fan, still am, and Drew Barrymore, and I will always remember that knife and the telephone, the landline of, again, things that I
The
don't
mask. The
remember.
mask.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
The mask, right. So I was a big fan of all of those things and all of those components, which made it a massive success. So I want to see it. So no, I'm definitely not gonna Scream. However, I really wanted to see what that director had, because horror is a very specific genre to tell, and a lot of horror films are not scary. At least not to me. I don't find them scary. Like, the last time I saw a good horror film that made me actually afraid to fall asleep at night was Chucky. So,
Mm.
you know, but
Yeah.
Scream is one of those classic films that you just, it's a franchise at this point. It has evolved beyond itself. It has evolved beyond the genre, the horror genre in a sense. So you just kind of like, okay, well, give it to me. Give it to me.
Please, sir. I want some more.
And just like a good film franchise, it's it's like, can it justify its existence? Same thing with the Fast and Furious franchise. You're gonna sign up because it's gonna be a good time. Like if I'm gonna go watch a Scream 7, the Screaming, like whatever it is, okay, cool. Does it justify its existence? Is it gonna give me some thrills and chills and laughs and they like Scream 1 did? I mean, obviously, I'm not looking to be scared the same way because like you were saying, Scream never scared me because it was an homage to other horror movies, yet starting its own franchise. It's that delicate dance that it did well. And then it also started the Scary Movie parody franchise, which went hand in hand. Those two, like Scary Movie and Screams, went parallel to each other, and everybody had a good time. Is this Scream 7? You're bringing back Neve Campbell. You're bringing back some of the star-studded cast. Is it going to justify its own thing of it's going to be a fun movie to watch and that's the end? Or that's a fun movie and then wait for 9?
So many people are going to go see it.
Yeah.
Just because of the politics. Just because of where we are. You know what I mean? Like, you remember, this is that movie that, like, when everything sort of started to blow up about everything going on in the Middle East, some people in Hollywood were very, very public. The star at the time was very, very public on her opinion. And the studio let her go. And do we think that do we think our political leanings should cost us jobs? How do we feel about that?
I mean, but there is that. But I just think overall the franchise, like, it hasn't been scary or whatever for a long time. But it's still a cult classic. It still deserves the respect that, like Jarrod was saying, it's spawned other franchises. Give it a chance. Give them a chance to wrap it up properly. Don't just, I mean, you decided that there was going to be a Scream 7. We didn't ask for it, okay? Y'all said you were going to do this.
My letters have been answered.
So if you are going to do this, wrap it up with a freaking bow, okay? I want it handed to me like a Christmas gift in the morning. I wake up and I say, Mommy, Daddy, thank you so much. This answers all of my questions. I can put this to bed. Okay.
Yeah, like, I mean, we like
Fast and the Furious, that franchise is doing it. Okay, we won't see Vin Diesel in that role again after the second part of the final movie, F10 comes out. We won't see it, Fast and the Furious 10. So give it that same thing to me for Scream.
Just like,
I'm not even a horror buff like that.
no, and just like Halloween 17, the Halloween inning with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, they finally were like, I mean, how many decades has that franchise went on? And they were like, Jamie, we need you to come in and wrap this up in a bow, which with the horror movie style, it is never wrapped up in a bow. That bow is always loose. It's always,
It's always got to have a slip knot. We always got to go, maybe.
It's going to get out. It's going to get out. I don't know.
For my children in 15 years. Okay?
Yeah, exactly, right? But I mean, but the thing, like, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis is like, yeah, I'll come back 40 years later and I'll be in there and say, like, let's end this today. But does it? Like, and that's what I hope this Scream 7 does, is we're gonna bring back the original cast, we're gonna bring back everybody, and whenever you do an Ocean's 11 combo of everybody from the original cast, it's like, make this worth it, rather than just the gimmick for us to go see it and then stay tuned for Scream 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know, like make it worth it. Make it worth its time of, like, it's wrapped up, or is it? You know, like, that's what I'm hoping for with Scream 7.
I don't know. If we're speaking of the Oceans franchise, I want to see Oceans 13 cast and Oceans 12 cast give homage to Bernie Mac, and come up with a combined movie, because Sandra Bullock killed her role, and obviously George Clooney did his thing as Danny. I want to see them do it together, but, you know, different writers, different directors.
That's dreams. Those are just dreams. I'm with you on that
We're
one.
having this kind of like revival of this, because we also saw this with Ellen Burstyn and The Exorcist. This kind of revival of, like, bringing back these old stars.
If they're gonna do The Exorcist again, they better That puke better be
They just did it.
blue, yellow.
Yeah,
Okay,
they just did.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, this was last year. They absolutely just did this. Ellen Burstyn came back. She's in her 90s, man. Ellen Burstyn came back.
Yeah,
it was
last
wild.
year, Exorcist Believer.
Am I on this podcast or did I just show up? Because the point is to watch movies, right? Okay, cool.
It was not voted well.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna get practice.
No, but they brought the Exorcist back for real.
Yeah, Linda
real.
Blair. Linda Blair was in the last one. Was not voted very well, but I mean, they brought her back, and they're like, hey, because Linda Blair's like, hey, you threw out my back for the rest of my life for that original film, but let me come out and represent the new one. So,
Give me some more money. It'll be fine.
yeah,
Call it a
exactly.
day.
Pay me off.
No, but I'm just saying if they're gonna end scream here. Most of us are gonna watch this movie. We're gonna see it because we've seen it when we were younger, we were teenagers when the original came out, and we followed it all the way through. And then there's the new generation that probably picked up on it for whatever reason because Talk to Me hadn't come out yet. That's fine.
Mhm.
Fine. But we could wrap this saga of that franchise up here, and then in 15, 20 years, some studio exec can dig it out again and say, let's remake this, which will be fine because that's what Hollywood does. That's what Hollywood is known for. I mean, all generations should know this going in. It should be something that should be given to children and baptism. You will see remakes of old movies.
Yeah.
But just give us a good ending here.
But give
think
us
we
a new
will. I
story.
think we
Give us a
will,
new
you know what I
story
mean?
with it.
Kevin Williamson wrote Scream. Like, this is his baby. You know what I mean? Like, this
Yeah, he was
director,
there.
like, wrote the book. Quite literally wrote the book on this movie.
Film
You know what I
one.
mean? Like, wrote the first one.
Mhm.
I don't think that you're gonna like do that. I don't think that you're gonna hand that over unless this is gonna be the person to wrap it up.
I mean, exactly. You don't bring in the original writer-director for just, part 4 of a 7-part franchise. No, you bring him in to be like, okay, let's tie this in a loose bow of Scream 7, Look Who's Screaming Now. And it's going to have everybody and everyone's going to be united. You're going to have a good-ass time.
They're desperate. How nasty was that set? They're firing directors. They're firing actors. I mean, how nasty does shit get for them to be firing people and say, well, fuck, we have no choice. If we're going to continue making this, obviously, which we are because we're wholly invested with millions of dollars, we have to bring back the original writer-director.
Listen, I think that there's two different things going on with that. I think what's going on with Christopher Landon and what's going on with like cast in regards to Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, like that's a whole. I think they're separate issues. I think what's going on with the director in regards to the studio is internal. You know what I mean? It's stuff going on in regards to vision, direction, arguments over script. You know what I mean? How they're gonna execute stuff, how much money, how much time, feasibility. I think the stuff going on with our actors has everything to do with what we're seeing in the Middle East. You know what I mean? That's why she got fired. Well, fired is a harsh term that we use in Hollywood. We want to say loose, quietly dropped from the project.
Let's go.
And then we see Jenna Ortega take off. You know what I mean? What she says is that it was scheduling conflicts with Wednesday. It wasn't. It had a lot to do with the fact that Melissa's her friend. You know what I mean? Like she backed her in regards to what she was saying on social media and how she was carrying herself in her presence. Hollywood's a very Jewish community. We're in a really tough time right now politically for everyone.
So wait, does that give them just because I'm not trying to diss Hollywood in any sense? No, we trying to get in, but
yes, please, Hollywood, answer our calls, answer our phone calls, please, Hollywood.
I'm here. But is it just because it's a Jewish community and they have the monopoly on certain things and how it runs out there? I mean, can they dictate talent beliefs, personal beliefs about how they feel about what's happening in the world? I mean,
I don't think so. And I think that's where it gets complicated is I think they don't want to be attached or amplifying certain voices. I think Hollywood wants to be as neutral as possible in whatever makes them the most money. You know what I mean? I think that like that's kind of unfortunately like where it sits is like studios are going to go after like staying neutral rather than like supporting in one direction or another.
Well, I mean, middle of the road is typically the safest bet to get the most maximum amount of profit, which is ultimately what producers and studios are for. And so it's like, okay, sure, you can have opinions and ideas, but when it comes to this project, y'all mind draining it in, and so we can just like make this, crank this out, and get this money, and then after that's out, you can have your opinions,
I think
like in
Jarrod,
post.
yeah, I think Jarrod, you have it there. But sooner or later, there's going to be a Palestinian filmmaker that's going to find the funding from somewhere that's going to tell the story of his people's or her people's genocide, and the
Like,
world's
watch out. Those indie film festivals, we got some Palestinian directors going to be hitting it hard, and it's going to then like, oh, change the concept.
That's well, it could be Palestinian, it could be an Israeli. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a war-torn section of the world, and one of the greatest stories that people tell over and over again was World War II and Nazi Germany, and
Uh-huh.
the different versions and the different iterations and the different interpretations of what World War II meant to them.
I think that's what we're seeing a huge
Yeah.
revival of.
Pardon me?
That's what we're seeing a huge revival of, is just war stories in general. And even like if we circle right back to Christopher Nolan and Dunkirk, you know what I mean? Not a big book, an
Exactly.
impactful book. Like we're seeing these stories that are like the most difficult moments in human history. And I think that right now what we're seeing in Hollywood is a really difficult moment in human history.
No. But we're gonna see like Christopher. We're talking Christopher Nolan. He just swept award season
Oh, yeah.
with a story about a man who developed a nuclear bomb. So
Yeah.
it's really a
Reluctantly.
matter of time before these stories come back out.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Y'all, I am
Mhm.
so stoked to have debates with you. I'm so stoked to talk movies with you every single time that I get to see your lovely faces.
Oh, I can't wait to agree and disagree with you every week.
She likes me. I
Right.
didn't disagree.
I don't think we did. I think we just enhanced everyone's opinion the entire time.
We have spirited debate, spirited conversation.
We just disagree to how great some things are. You know, we're like, oh, some things I think is pretty good. Others thought it was greater. That was the only disagreement I think we've really stumbled upon so far.
That's true.
Because we're supposed to convince people we have conflicts here.
I beg to differ, Sarah.
Sarah, no, Sarah, girl, sit down.
Mm-mm.
No, but I'm going to take my notes about camping and watching movies. So
I'm going to take my notes of watch things that nobody's ever heard of and try to find some good ones to recommend to y'all. That's what I'm going to do. Because obviously I can't be dependent on to watch mainstream movies at any timeline. So
email
We're
me.
gonna work on it. We're gonna work on
I
it.
really need to work.
Email me a list, because if it's not, like, if I haven't seen a trailer, if the trailer is not available to me on social media,
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's a fair point. No, there's a lot of good stuff out there that I'm like, ooh, I haven't heard anything about this, and it's out now. I'll be right back.
you right?
Got
Yeah.
a weekly list. So we'll do a weekly cycle of what's coming down the pipeline this week.
Right.
Watch
And
these 3 movies. You have 7 days.
Jared,
to figure that out.
Date movies. So when I finally get a man,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know which Cineplex I'm choosing already. You just tell me the good date movies to watch. So I could just rope that buddy in.
Just like, okay, I need my date buddy. All right.
All right, y'all. Well,
Uh,
thank you for joining. I can't wait to see y'all next time. And go watch some movies.
I'll be proud.
Good call. I need to.
I'm
Later.
Bye.